There is a legendary Hollywood actor whose favorite sport was the same as you and I. An icon of the stage and screen. Women wanted him, men wanted to be him. He won every major acting prize out there, from Academy Awards to Golden Globes, and he has been in some of the most classic of Hollywood films. But the best part is, he was an avid badminton player. Who is this amazing Superman? Hey guys, Badminton Becky, an American living and playing badminton in China. Please do me a little favor, hit that subscribe and that like button. It will get the message out to more people who maybe wouldn't normally see badminton videos, and we can spread the badminton love. We all know in America, badminton's not that cool, much less Hollywood. So who is this legendary Hollywood star that not only played badminton, but openly talked about it and promoted the sport? Paul Mother Effin Newman. That's right, Cool Hand Luke himself. Butch Cassidy himself. The guy that makes your favorite salad dressing. Not only a super famous legendary actor, but he was also a huge badminton fan. How do I know? I actually grew up in the same town that Paul Newman lived. Him and his wife, Joanne Woodward, also a very famous actress, they actually left Hollywood, which was very unusual for their era, and they moved to the East Coast. So I would actually see him when I was growing up. I would see him from time to time. Like, he would be at the restaurant, but we were always really proud of him. He was a really great citizen for the town, and so we always kind of protected him. Like, people didn't bother him when they were at a restaurant or at a store and would see him. We always kind of respected his space. So while I've seen him many times, I've actually never talked to him. My parents still live in the town, and my mom got a newsletter from the local Y about Paul Newman being an avid badminton player. For those of you non-Americans, the Y, it's like it's called the YMCA. It's like a community center where they have, you know, workouts and classes, adult ed classes, workout classes, things like that. And yes, it is the inspiration for the song YMCA. But in this newsletter, it was just a tiny sentence. It just said they have courts that you can play different games like badminton, and it just said Paul Newman was an avid badminton player, and that was it. Sadly, Paul Newman died in 2008, and that was long before, you know, social media was such a force and everything was on the internet. So when I Googled it, I didn't really have high hopes of finding much, but I was very surprised. He was on the Jay Leno show in 2005, and they had a little conversation about Paul's favorite sport.
Now, besides racing, you're also a huge badminton fan, which I did not know. Is that, yeah.
Did you see that nod? Did you see that nod?
Is that, yeah.
Like, that was like a, duh, why are you even asking me? Like, I love badminton so much that it's like breathing. Like, if someone asked me, do you love badminton? I'm like, yeah. Like, duh. That was totally the exact nod that Paul Newman did.
Is that, yeah.
Well, for the last 20 years,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, since you were 59.
Since I was 59. That's when I started.
Now, people kind of make fun of badminton, but it's a tough sport, isn't it?
Well, it's one of the fastest sports. Not the way I play it,
Yeah.
but it is one of the fastest sports in the world. I mean, the bird comes off the racket at close to 200 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And it's an Olympic sport, and I understand you've got some footage here.
We do have some footage. Now, let's take a look. Now, do they call it a birdie? Is it a birdie, or what do they call it?
It's a birdie.
A birdie.
Shuttlecock.
Shuttlecock. See, it's hard to say that on TV. I think that's what's hurt the sport. You know, so you can't. And he hit the shuttle thing there. Come on there. They got to.
It makes you nervous.
It makes you nervous. So consequently, the sport has been hurt. Now, how did you get interested in that? I remember seeing Badminton, the movie. It wasn't from a movie thing, right?
I don't know. I played it when I was a kid,
Okay.
and I got started. And
Okay, yeah.
They hit the bird at 200 miles an hour. I hit it about 12.
And I love that, like, he knows his facts and he's like willing to share it. He knows it's the fastest racket sport in the world. And he knows not just the speed of a smash, but he says specifically when it comes off the racket. So he knows that the shuttle is made to slow down, and that the high speed of the smash is measured at the point of contact. Like, a hobbyist doesn't really know that, you know, like a beginner doesn't really know that. They just think a smash is, 200 miles per hour or whatever. But he knew that it was the point of contact at the shuttle, which means he definitely knew his stuff. And according to an article in the Chicago Tribune, when he was filming Road to Perdition with Tom Hanks, which actually was his last live action film, he insisted not on something fancy like, M&Ms without any brown ones or some special water or anything. He insisted that he have access to a badminton court and a badminton coach. Keep in mind, he was 77 at the time, and he said he needed badminton to keep up his health and keep up his reflexes. And I read in an LA Times article that he actually was one of the people that petitioned the Olympics to make badminton an Olympic sport. And after it was introduced to the Olympics, only the second time it was played in the Olympics, in the Atlanta 1996 Olympics, he brought a whole group of friends to go and watch the badminton Olympic Games. I also read that he had a badminton court in his house. Actually, I know where he lived. He actually lived right across the street from my friend. But of course, he had very tall gates and a nice piece of land. So as much as we did try to look over and see if we could spot Paul Newman in his house, we couldn't. So I never saw any kind of courts or anything that he had, but he actually liked to play at the Y, at the local gym, with a group of friends. Someone who actually played badminton with Paul Newman once actually wrote a blog entry about it. And in the blog entry, he said Paul Newman kept smacking and smacking him, I'm guessing net kills. This guy, the person that wrote it, said he hadn't played badminton in 20 years, so couldn't compare, even though he was decades younger than Paul Newman. Paul Newman's getting training and playing every week. Obviously, he's going to be better. This guy kept getting smacked, and Paul Newman would kind of laugh with a little, naughty twinkle in his crystal clear blue eyes. And the reason that guy actually played with them is because one of the normal club members was sick. So Paul Newman kind of had his own little badminton club in my hometown with a regular group of players that he would play with every week. I also read an excerpt from a magazine. I couldn't see the whole article, but it said when he was at one of the Grand Prix, he was really into cars and car racing. There was some sort of promotion or contest or something, and he actually threw a badminton shuttle into the crowd, and the person that caught it got $5,000. So I really wish there was some video of that, because we all know throwing a shuttle into a crowd, especially if you're outside, I don't know how that works. I don't know if there was winds that helped him or whatever. But I like that he went to a car racing thing with a badminton shuttle in his pocket and just used it to do a giveaway. He obviously died a decade before I even found badminton. And even if he didn't die, he would be 98 now and probably not really playing a lot. But I am really sorry that I never got a chance to play with him. I mean, he literally played badminton at the place I learned to swim, When I was a kid, I could have been downstairs in the pool, learning doggy paddle while he was upstairs playing badminton, and I had no idea because I didn't love the sport back then. And with social media and stuff, someone as cool as him could really promote the sport. I mean, who's gonna look Butch Cassidy in the eye and be like, badminton? Pfft, isn't that for kids? Nobody. I think if Paul Newman mentions he plays badminton, he's gonna attract a lot of interest from a lot of people. So I am really sad that he's not around to promote the sport in our age of social media. But even though he can't help promote the sport anymore, it's just a really cool story. You never hear about Hollywood stars playing badminton, and he was really the coolest of the cool. So it's a great story. While looking up famous movie stars and badminton, I found Rebecca Romaine and her husband, Jerry O'Connell. They love to play badminton. They play apparently every day for hours. The only thing that makes me think they're not super fans is in a People magazine interview, Jerry O'Connell was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I'm telling you this. Oh, we play badminton." He makes it sound like a guilty pleasure, like it's not cool, and him admitting that he loves it isn't cool. So I don't like that attitude. I think Paul Newman, he was like, it's the coolest thing ever. No excuses. I like that attitude much better. I also saw a tweet that was Leonardo DiCaprio plays badminton, but I looked it up all through Google and I couldn't find anything. So I don't know if that's just a rumor or he played once and people now say he's a fan of it. I don't know. But but couldn't find anything else on that. But if you guys heard about any badminton stars, maybe in your own countries, do they love badminton as well? And can we get them to promote badminton and make it cooler all around the world? Because people love to do what celebrities love. Let's get famous actors to help promote the sport of badminton. But let me know in the comments below if you've ever heard of any other famous people playing badminton. And that's it. I'll see you guys next time on the court. Bye.